There are ideas we encounter that seem small at first, almost simple. Yet the moment you sit with them, they begin to expand, quietly, like something alive. The first hermetic principle is one such idea. It begins with a sentence so short it feels like a riddle. All is mind. The universe is mental. And yet this is not metaphor. Not poetry. Not philosophy for entertainment. It is the foundation on which every other hermetic law is built. To understand it deeply is to understand why thoughts become reality. Why perception shapes experience. Why consciousness precedes existence. Not the other way around. And if this principle is true, then nothing we see exists independently from the one who sees it. That is where our journey begins. Most people believe consciousness emerged after the universe did. That the mind is a product of matter. A temporary spark in a biological machine. But Hermeticism turns this idea inside out. What if consciousness came first? What if thought is the origin? And matter only its echo? Imagine everything you can perceive. Every mountain, star, breath, heartbeat. As ripples in a vast invisible field. Not physical. Not external. But mind. A boundless ocean of awareness expressing itself as worlds, atoms, beings, universes. In this view, you are not in the universe. The universe is in you. Appearing to emerge from the fabric of thought itself. Not individually, but collectively. Not personally, but universally. You are one expression of the one mind exploring itself. The ancient Hermetists taught that mind is not just thinking. It is being. Consciousness is not the product of the brain. The brain is the instrument through which consciousness plays. Just as a flute does not create the breath, but channels it into sound. When the body dissolves, the instrument falls silent. But the breath remains. Hermeticism suggests that consciousness does not die. It withdraws. Shifts. Recollects itself. Because everything is made of mind. And mind cannot disappear. It simply changes form. But if the universe is mental, then reality is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, creative. Shaped by perception, belief, expectation, attention. We do not observe reality. We generate it through observing. This is where the Hermetic law of mentalism meets modern science. Quantum physics reveals a startling truth. Matter behaves differently when observed. Particles exist as probabilities until consciousness interacts with them. Possibility condenses into form. Thought becomes location. Awareness becomes event. Mind becomes matter. Not symbolically. Literally. The Hermetic text said this thousands of years before physics proved it. And modern research continues to catch up. But understanding is not enough. The Hermetists taught that knowledge changes nothing unless it alters experience. So the real question becomes: if reality is mental, how do we shape it? Not by wishing. Not by forcing. But through subtle mastery of awareness. Because thought is not just what moves through the mind. Thought is the field from which the mind emerges. Your beliefs are not opinions. They are architectures of reality. Your expectations are not guesses. They are instructions. Your attention is not passive. It is creative. What you hold in mind, you hold in the world. Not instantly. Not always visibly. But inevitably. Consciousness is the painter. Reality is the canvas. The question is no longer whether the universe is mental, but whether we are conscious of the way we are imagining it. The Hermetic masters said that the untrained mind creates unconsciously, while the awakened mind creates with intention. Most people project fear and call it fate. They project doubt and call it limitation. They project memory and call it identity. If you believe the world is cold, you will find evidence that confirms it. The universe is a mirror. And the law of mentalism is the light behind the reflection. So what does it mean to live as if the universe is mental? First, you become the author, not the spectator. You stop asking what the world will give you, and begin asking what you are projecting into it. Instead of reacting to events, you observe the mind that interprets them. Instead of fighting circumstances, you adjust the thought from which circumstances arise. Reality stops happening to you, and begins happening through you. Second, you recognize that every thought has weight. Anxiety is a frequency. Hope is a frequency. Gratitude is a frequency. You are not thinking. You are transmitting. And the field responds. Not metaphorically. Mechanically. Just as vibration organizes matter into form, consciousness organizes experience into meaning. Life becomes an echo chamber for the mind that perceives it. But the Hermetic teachings go further. They claim that the universe itself is a thought within the infinite mind, and that every soul is a point of awareness within that thought. A single consciousness experiencing itself as many. Not divided, but differentiated. Not separate, but refracted. Like a prism splitting one beam of light into countless colors. Every mind is a window. Every window looks upon the same ocean. The view is different. The water is one. This is why compassion becomes clarity. Why judgment dissolves under understanding. Why the Hermetists said, the self and the universe are mirrors. To know one fully is to know the other. If you wish to understand God, observe mind. If you wish to understand mind, observe God. Both are the same substance wearing different shapes. However, the law of mentalism is not only mystical. It has psychological depth. Consider this. Your past only exists as memory. Your future only exists as imagination. The present is filtered through interpretation. So where exactly is reality happening? Inside the mind. Two people walk through the same event, and experience two different worlds. Not because the world changed, but because their minds did. This is why enlightenment is not an escape from the world, but a transformation of perception. The world remains. The seer changes. And in changing, the world appears new. Hermeticism does not ask us to manipulate reality. It asks us to understand we are co-creating it. The mind is not a container. It is a projector. Thoughts are not private. They shape the architecture of experience. When you think, you vibrate. When you vibrate, you attract. When you attract, you receive. This is not wishful mysticism. It is energetic causality. You are not a character trapped in a world. You are the writer dreaming through a body. And when you awaken to that, life becomes lucid. The Hermetic texts describe 3 levels of mind. The subconscious, the dreamer. The conscious, the interpreter. The superconscious, the creator. Most people live from the first 2. They think thoughts, but those thoughts are shaped by memory, culture, survival, habit. Few learn to think from the 3rd level, where intention is law, clarity is power, and imagination becomes blueprint. The superconscious is not fantasy. It is the original mind. The spark of the all within the individual. When aligned with it, will becomes effortless direction. Thought becomes manifestation. Life becomes expression. Not forced, but flowed. So how does one practice mentalism? Not by repeating affirmations mechanically. Not by fighting unwanted thoughts. Not by performing optimism. The hermetic approach is more subtle. Step 1, Awareness. Notice the mind without becoming it. Step 2, Selection. Choose thoughts like a sculptor chooses stone. Step 3, Feeling. Emotion is the magnet that gives thought weight. Step 4, Imagination. See reality before it arrives. Imagination is not escapism. It is pre-creation. What you can hold clearly in the mind, you can hold eventually in the hand. Not always as you expect, but always in resonance. Life bends to frequency. This is why inner work changes outer circumstance. Why healing your internal world transforms external events. Why mastery begins not with control, but awareness. You cannot change a world you are still dreaming unconsciously. You must wake up inside the dream. This is the essence of mentalism. Not that mind influences reality, but that mind is reality. The physical is the mental made visible. Every universe, every life, every heartbeat is a thought refracted through time. And if we learn to think with clarity, to feel with coherence, to act with alignment, then we step into our true role. Not inhabitants of a universe, but participants in its unfolding. Not observers of creation, but expressions of the mind that imagined it. If you understand this principle deeply, you cannot think the same way again. You begin to choose thoughts as carefully as breath. You begin to ask, not what reality is, but what thought is dreaming it. And when a new thought arises, you watch it shape experience like a ripple reshaping a sea. The world does not change first. The mind does. And the world follows. This is not mysticism. This is mechanics. The first hermetic law is the doorway to every other. Correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. All are children of mentalism. If all is mind, then all is responsive. If all is mind, then all is meaningful. If all is mind, then creation is happening now. Not outside you, but through you. The universe is the thought of the all. And you are one sentence in that endless story. Learning to write consciously at last.